She was a bright young college student with big dreams.
She wanted to be able to work with the kids in the inner city.
She was going to change the world.
But then she vanished.
Girl, where are you?
She just didn't show up for classes.
It was a big thing on campus.
There was a student missing.
She just disappeared into thin air.
Was danger stalking the dorms?
People thought maybe someone kidnapped her.
There may have been a predator on campus.
There's this sense, am I safe? Look, you ain't going nowhere.
Or was the truth more disturbing than anyone could imagine?
I am so devastated still.
The family has been torn apart.
No one prepares you.
I just started breaking down.
That monster took my child's life.
April 20th, 2013. It's Saturday night in Willimantic, Connecticut, a quiet New England town and home to Eastern Connecticut State University.
It's a beautiful campus. I would say it's not too big, not too small.
The school is part of the Connecticut State University system and is probably at this point the primary economic driver of the downtown area.
Main Street is where there are different restaurants, there are bars.
Although this particular weekend, the bars and restaurants on Main Street are mostly deserted.
When it gets close to the end of April, beginning of May, most students are prepping for finals.
But in one dorm, the studies of Eastern sophomore Sade Burke are interrupted by a text from friend and classmate Alicia Wiley.
Alicia had gone to Bridgeport earlier that day to visit her boyfriend, Jermaine Richards.
Around, I would say 9:30, she let me know that she was heading back to Eastern. And she told me that she was going to visit me at my dorm. I was waiting for her to text me when she got back.
From Bridgeport to campus is about an hour-and-a-half drive.
Just after 11, Alicia texts her friend Sade that she was in Willimantic.
She said she was walking up the hill because there's a hill that leads up to my dorm. So I waited. And then I heard nothing.
Alicia Wiley never arrived at Sade Burke's room.
20-year-old Alicia Wiley grew up in West Haven, Connecticut with her mother and 3 sisters.
Growing up, she was the one that would keep the peace among her and her sisters.
They were a very loving family. Alicia's mother was very devoted to her 4 daughters.
And it was her mother who inspired the drive and determination that would one day take Alicia to college.
I taught my girls their way out and their way up and their way through was through education.
Alicia had a love for education. In fact, in her sophomore year of high school, she started taking college credits.
I was a stickler about them getting their education, but wanted them to be well-rounded young women. So she had a lot of extracurricular things that she would do.
Her hard work paid off, and after being courted by numerous colleges, Alicia chose Eastern Connecticut State University.
She was able to go get a full ride.
Once at Eastern, Alicia's drive made her a natural leader.
She was active in a student group called Females, which was an organization that promoted career opportunities and other enrichment opportunities for young women on campus.
Females did a lot of community service. We also did a lot of things together so that we can strengthen our sisterhood and create a bond.
However, Alicia's strongest bond was with her boyfriend, Jermaine Richards.
Alicia was 16 years old when she met Jermaine.
She was dating him since she was in high school, and she was very much in love.
However, there was one problem.
He was about 10 years older than she was.
But that didn't bother Alicia.
She just had a real good connection with him. He understood her. He got her.
What you want to see later on tonight?
Something funny.
He seemed so much more mature, and he took her ambition seriously.
Still, Alicia had initially kept the relationship hidden from her mother.
I learned about Jermaine when Alicia was 17. And the way I learned about it, she was a half hour late after curfew. And I had called the gentleman whom I thought she was dating. And he was like, "No, I haven't heard from Alicia. We haven't dated in almost a year now." And I was like, "Wait, what?" So when Alicia came home, I was like, what was you doing?
Mom, before you get upset, let me explain.
I'm like, "Oh my God, Alicia, you're pregnant? Please tell me you're not pregnant." And she goes, "No, no, no. I've been dating this guy, it's been about a year now." And I was like, "So why you didn't tell me?" And she's like, "Well, he's kind of older." And I'm like, "What do you mean kind of older?"
Alicia's mom had reservations, as most mothers would.
However, once the shock wore off, Alicia's mother allowed her to continue seeing Jermaine.
She was very mature. All my girls were very mature for their age. So I trusted her.
Karina initially thought that this relationship wouldn't last.
I didn't give it much longevity. I was like, okay, she'll move on to bigger and better things.
But once in college and away from her mother's watchful eye, Alicia and Jermaine's relationship only heated up.
The attention he was giving her became more focused and more intense.
He would come to the campus. He would actually stay overnight.
Baby, you leaving?
Yeah, I got class.
Sometimes he would even drive her down to his place for the weekend.
Jermaine lived with his mother in Bridgeport, an hour and a half away from campus.
Her friends on campus didn't often see her during the weekends.
But now, after a quick trip to Jermaine's, Alicia has completely vanished.
After texting her friend Sade and saying she was walking across campus, she just disappeared.
She was coming to my dorm and never showed up. So I stayed up a little longer just to see if she would show, and she didn't. So I assumed that she went back to her dorm.
But on Monday, when Alicia is a no-show for a class they have together, alarm bells go off.
When I called her, it was as if her phone was off.
"Hey, it's Alicia. I'm not here right now, but go ahead and leave me a message and I'll call you back when I can."
Girl, where are you? Call me back, please.
She does not miss class. We take school way too serious.
That's when people became very concerned.
She wouldn't just disappear unless something was wrong.
At Eastern Connecticut State University, there was little doubt that 20-year-old Alicia Wiley was going places.
Alicia had done so well in high school that she earned a full scholarship. She studied both psychology as well as biology so that she could attend medical school and become a psychiatrist.
She wanted to come back and work with the kids in the inner city to, help them work through a lot of things.
But now, Alicia's bright future may be in jeopardy.
Saturday night, Alicia texted her friend Sade and said she was coming over, but she never showed.
Alicia also didn't show for her Monday morning class.
Girl, where are you?
Monday's the day that we have our science class together, and she didn't show up, and I was freaking out. I'm, asking a bunch of people questions if they've seen her. They said no. She hadn't attended any of her classes.
After following up with her friends, Sade goes to the campus police.
At that moment, I knew it was real and something was wrong.
I would like to report a missing student, my friend Alicia Wiley. These are the last time I talked to her.
I went down to campus safety and they started asking me questions.
Okay. So that text message Saturday was the last time you heard from her?
Yes.
They started asking me who was the last person she was with, and I let them know about Jermaine because, of course, she was with him last.
But he dropped her off.
The last text message from Alicia, she said she was actually walking up the hill.
Was she having any trouble in her classes?
At the end of the semester, there's a tremendous uptick in potential stress because you're trying to study and you're trying to juggle and manage all of your classes and get papers turned in.
But according to Sade, Alicia always stayed on top of her schoolwork.
We were always in the library. We were always studying. And Alicia took that very serious.
No, she would never skip class.
Eastern Connecticut State University Police very quickly realized that there is a significant situation on their hands.
After talking to Sade, campus authorities request officers make contact with Alicia's family.
West Haven Police Department had come to our house about 3:15 in the afternoon, and he had said he was coming to inquire about Alicia Wiley. And I was like, why? And he said Alicia had not been seen on the college campus since April 20th. And my world, my life, all ended.
Karina was frightened and overwhelmed and scared for her daughter's safety.
I said, you have to understand, this is what she's been working for all this time. She's not going to just walk away from that and not let her family know.
After the interview, West Haven police call in reinforcements.
The investigation is now ramping up, and they call in the Eastern District Major Crime Squad.
One of the first things the state police investigators do is reach out to Alicia's boyfriend, 30-year-old Jermaine Richards.
The state police interviewed Jermaine Richards to see what he knew about Alicia's disappearance.
This is all my fault.
What do you mean?
I should have just dropped off at the dorm.
He indicated that he and Alicia had gotten into an argument, and she had gotten out of his car near campus.
He said he'd let her out on Main Street.
It is only 2 blocks to the main entrance of Eastern Connecticut State University.
What was your fight about?
I mean, the typical stuff. She was just in the mood, stressing over finals that week.
As sweet as Alicia could be, she was temperamental sometimes, you know. She just get into her own little moods.
What time did you drop her off?
Like around 11 o'clock.
It was around the same time that Sade had gotten the second text from Alicia.
I got another text message saying that she was actually walking up the hill.
He said the last he saw her was walking up Wyndham Street towards the campus.
What did you do after that?
Just went and got some gas and I went home.
Did you try to reach out to Alicia after that?
No, sir. Kind of wanted to give her time to cool off.
Thank you so much for your time. You're free to go.
After talking to Jermaine, detectives contact his mother, who confirms that Jermaine had brought Alicia by their house on Saturday afternoon.
She said that Jermaine and Alicia were still at the house when she left for work around 5 that evening.
But then, Jermaine's mother says something that really grabs detectives' attention.
While talking to them about Alicia and Jermaine's relationship, she mentioned how happy she was that he had found such a great girl after the toxic relationship he had had with a woman named Latrice.
Jermaine Richards was involved with a woman by whom he had had a child.
According to his mom, their breakup had been ugly.
He had a restraining order against her.
Detectives investigating the disappearance of Alicia Wiley have just learned that her boyfriend, Jermaine Richards, has a volatile relationship with the mother of his child, Latrice Marshall.
After speaking to his mom, she let it slip that Jermaine had a child with another woman.
That relationship had ended and resulted in a restraining order being imposed.
Now, detectives wanted to know if she had been anywhere near campus the night that Jermaine's new girlfriend disappeared.
That afternoon, detectives bring Jermaine's ex, 28-year-old Latrice Marshall, in for questioning.
They wanted to see if there was any jealousies on her part against Alicia.
But when police tell Latrice that Alicia has gone missing, she appears surprised.
So you don't know anything about that?
Why would I?
Because she took your boyfriend.
No, she can have him.
She told the officers that she was done with him and she had nothing to do with Alicia's disappearance.
So why'd he take a restraining order out against her?
Because he's a liar.
Latrice claimed that it was just a tactic on Jermaine's part just to make it harder for her to get child support.
And if you want to find Alicia, you ought to talk to Jermaine.
Why's that?
She said Jermaine was a very manipulative person and very controlling.
Is Latrice telling the truth about Jermaine? Or is she just trying to divert suspicion from herself?
And where were you Saturday night?
Home. I have a 4-year-old.
She also said that her mother could vouch for her.
When detectives follow up with Latrice's mom, she confirms that her daughter was home that night.
But when detectives dug into Latrice's insinuation that Jermaine had something to do with Alicia's disappearance, they also came up empty.
He had no criminal record. They weren't able to find anything that would indicate that he was capable of harming Alicia.
Detectives also find video surveillance that confirms at least some of Jermaine's account on the night Alicia disappeared.
A gas station camera established that he did indeed purchase gasoline on the main street in Willimantic, roughly around the time that the texts were sent to Sade Burke.
Detectives also searched through the campus surveillance footage, hoping for a hint of what happened to Alicia.
They pulled the footage from the surveillance cameras on her likely route back from where she was let out to her dorm room.
But there's no footage of Alicia walking across campus.
However, since it was a few blocks from Main Street to campus, whatever happened to Alicia could have happened just off campus.
All anyone knew is that she had gotten out of Jermaine's car and was walking back towards campus.
People thought maybe that, this could have been someone who kidnapped her.
So maybe there was a predator on campus.
Days pass with no sign of Alicia, and the family mobilizes to conduct their own search in parallel to the police.
We were on social media. We got search groups together.
She got her neighbors, the family. There were so many people out looking for Alicia.
They posted pictures. They talked to people.
The family also makes a public appeal for help finding Alicia.
I just told them about my baby. I told them who she was and that she was taken. She didn't walk away. She wasn't missing, but she was taken. And I just wanted her back.
But when detectives pull Alicia's phone records, they start to wonder if her mother's wish will ever come true.
After the text messages to Sade Burke, there is no communication ever again from Alicia Wiley's cell phone.
However, the phone records also reveal that Sade wasn't the only person Alicia had been texting that evening.
There are texts from her telephone to the telephone of a friend of hers, a young man.
He was a fellow Eastern student named Darius Jensen.
There's an exchange of texts, and she said, "What time do you get off work?"
They were supposed to be meeting at 11 p.m. that night.
Investigators searching for 20-year-old Alicia Wiley now know that shortly before she disappeared, she was planning to meet with a fellow student named Darius Jensen.
They were supposed to meet up that evening after he got off from work at 11 p.m.
It was roughly around the time that the texts were sent from Alicia's phone to Sade Burke.
She told me that she was going to visit me at my dorm.
It made detectives wonder if Alicia had simply forgotten about her prior arrangements with Darius, or if she was purposely blowing him off.
To find out, detectives bring Darius in for questioning.
He might have been responsible for her disappearance.
Darius seems willing to cooperate when he sits down with detectives.
He didn't deny that he was texting Alicia that night.
We've known each other for years.
He was someone that was a good friend of Alicia's since they went to high school.
In fact, he told the officers that they had been dating at one point.
So was this like a booty call? Nah, it wasn't like that. We were just gonna just hang out.
He insisted that they were just friends at this point.
So why'd you two break up? You know, she met someone.
He said Jermaine was the reason that they had broken up.
However, that's not all that Darius has to say about Jermaine.
He told the officers that it was really Jermaine who they should be looking at.
And why is that?
I ran into her a few days ago.
Alicia had confided in him that Jermaine had become very controlling.
It seemed as though the love was fading. It also seemed as though she wasn't happy more so because she felt like she couldn't breathe, that the relationship was more on the suffocating end.
He was very jealous, possessive, wanted to control her. And I think once Alicia went off to college, she matured and she wasn't sure that he was the right person for her.
He said she was trying to break up with him.
She wanted to end it, and she was concerned about how he would react to that.
If Darius is telling the truth, could that explain Alicia's disappearance?
If Alicia was trying to break up with Jermaine, that would definitely give him motive.
Regardless of their suspicions, they still needed to rule out Darius.
So what did you do Saturday night since Alicia didn't show? I went back to the dorm.
Okay, you're free to go.
When detectives follow up on Darius's story, his alibi checks out.
In order to get into any of the dormitories, you have to have like a key fob to get in.
The college records reveal that he entered the building a little after 11 p.m.
Detectives also pulled the surveillance footage from his dorm, and it confirmed that Darius was alone.
Darius appears to be another dead end.
No one had any information. We did not know what had happened.
The detectives were very open about how the investigation was going, but I was convinced that Alicia was alive.
But when a new witness contacts detectives, all of her hopes could be shattered.
A friend of Jermaine, Xavier Barnes, came forward.
Me and Jermaine, we grew up together.
A period of time had gone by where they had not seen each other. And then in the spring of 2013, they began to see each other a bit.
We were hanging out and he started talking about, that missing girl.
Alicia Wiley.
Yeah.
Richards confided to this friend that things weren't perfect with Alicia.
He told him about a time that Jermaine came over and was telling him about social media messages that Alicia had sent, telling him that she wanted to break up with him.
But it was what Jermaine said to Xavier that raised red flags.
During the course of this discussion with his friend, Richards said she doesn't know who she's messing with.
It's not over. You're not going nowhere.
I really think he did something to her.
Xavier believed Jermaine was responsible for Alicia's disappearance.
Where you think you going? You ain't going nowhere. What's wrong with you? I don't.
A friend of Jermaine Richards has just told detectives investigating the disappearance of 20-year-old Alicia Wiley that Jermaine had made threatening statements about his missing girlfriend.
According to his friend, prior to her disappearance, Jermaine had said, quote, he was going to get rid of Alicia.
He was like, she doesn't know who she's messing with.
When the friend inquired as to what he was talking about, Richards replied, I know what I'm doing.
What did he mean by that?
He didn't say.
Xavier also tells detectives that he texted Jermaine after he heard that Alicia was missing.
He had asked about what happened to Alicia, and Richards never replied. Certainly one in that position, when asked that question, if he wasn't responsible, would have vehemently denied it.
Coupled with what Alicia's ex Darius had told them about Jermaine, detectives decide it's time to take a closer look at the missing woman's boyfriend.
Jermaine's the last person that detectives can place with Alicia. It was at Jermaine's house in Bridgeport that Saturday afternoon.
Have a seat, man.
Hoping to learn the truth about the couple's relationship, detectives circle back to her friend, Sade Burke, who opens the interview with a stunning admission.
There were some things I didn't tell you before.
Certain things Alicia told me in confidence, I wasn't very forthcoming with initially because in my head, everything was okay, which I was hoping and praying. If everything is okay, she would kill me if I revealed any of that information.
But now, 3 days after her disappearance, Sade is willing to lay it all out there.
She realized that something serious had happened to Alicia, and she needed to tell them everything.
I think she was scared of Jermaine.
What makes you think that?
I mean, something she said once.
I don't know how the conversation came about, but we were talking, and out of nowhere, she jokingly says, if I ever go missing one day, just tell them that Jermaine got me.
For detectives, that was a pretty shocking statement.
Sade says she didn't take Alicia too seriously at the time.
You hear of people making comments like that all the time, and Sade just thought Alicia was joking.
But now that Alicia is missing, detectives suspect her joke was deadly serious.
All fingers pointed back to Jermaine.
Detectives figure it's time to sit down with Jermaine a second time.
The officers wanted to interview Jermaine again after learning this additional information. But this time, Jermaine refused to speak.
I don't want to say anything unless I have my lawyer.
Jermaine obtained a lawyer, a very fine lawyer.
When detectives search the home in Bridgeport where Jermaine lives with his mom, the results are almost as disappointing.
Little was found. There was no evidence that his house had been a crime scene.
However, detectives don't walk away entirely empty-handed.
2 video tapes were found that depicted various types of violent deaths, including a scene of dismemberment, an elevator accident where people were crushed in the elevator, plane crashes, and things like that.
That really is very disturbing. And it seemed very grotesque and horrible.
There's nothing inherently illegal about Jermaine's secret stash of snuff films, but it does give detectives a sinking feeling.
It became clear that, this would not have a good ending.
A follow-up search warrant only increases the detective's sense of dread.
During the course of the investigation, the police learned that Jermaine Richards had a rental property in the town of Ansonia, some miles north of Bridgeport. The police executed the search and seizure warrant there and found no evidence. They did, however, find that the bathroom had been ripped out in that house.
It had been gutted just days after Alicia disappeared.
They did find a receipt for a new bathtub.
Now detectives were wondering, was Jermaine's brand new bathroom actually a crime scene?
But if that was the case, where is Alicia now? A possible clue comes when detectives pulled Jermaine's phone records to trace his movements after he supposedly dropped Alicia off a few blocks from campus.
The route that he takes is to go east towards Hartford and then down Interstate 691 to Interstate 84 and down Route 8 back to Bridgeport.
But according to the phone records, he also took a last-minute detour.
His phone was hitting off of a cell tower in the vicinity of a road called Quarry Road. This road dead-ended in a wooded rural area.
His phone records, snuff videos, a new bathtub, cryptic comments that were made to Xavion. Yeah, it wasn't looking very good for Jermaine.
The mood is grim when detectives search the area, almost a month after Alicia first disappeared.
That area contained rocky terrain, wooded terrain, and would be invisible from the highway.
See what we got here. Got another bag over there, too.
It was at that point that they found a leg and an arm.
He cut her up and threw her away like trash.
Connecticut State Police have just discovered human remains in an area Alicia Wiley's boyfriend, Jermaine Richards, visited on the night she disappeared.
After searching through Jermaine's phone records, they were able to note one of his last locations.
The hit on that cell tower led police to the remains of Alicia Wiley. Her entire body was not found, only an arm and a leg in a substantial state of decomposition.
It was clear at that point that she had been dismembered.
It will take DNA analysis to confirm the identity of the remains, but detectives are fairly certain they found Alicia.
The detectives came to the house and no one prepares you. No one prepares a parent to have to learn that not only was their child murdered, but that she was dismembered.
The next day, the autopsy confirms that the body is that of Alicia Wiley.
We don't know the mechanism of death. What we do know is that she was dismembered by somebody who knew what he was doing. Somebody with knowledge of anatomy, somebody that knew how the human body was put together well enough to take it apart.
Jermaine, her boyfriend, he was a nurse.
The mosaic of what happened becomes very clear.
For someone to have the ability to kill someone they claim they love and dismember their body, you have to be really sick and demented.
With the body identified as Alicia, the detectives take 30-year-old Jermaine Richards into custody on murder charges.
There was so many things that just kept hindering our investigation. And we were blessed to have a group of individuals that were determined to bring him to justice. And I'm grateful for that.
When Jermaine goes on trial on February 6th of 2015, the prosecution contends that Alicia's murder was a clear case of domestic violence.
Alicia was trying to break up with him.
He said she doesn't know who she's messing with.
So on the evening of April 20th, Jermaine had exacted his revenge.
Prosecutors weren't exactly sure how or where Jermaine killed Alicia, but they were certain he dismembered her remains in the bathroom of his rental property.
Once Alicia's body had been dismembered and bagged up, he'd loaded her into the trunk and driven to her college. Then he used Alicia's phone to text her friend Sade.
It's our theory that Jermaine Richards actually sent those texts.
The prosecutor's theory would also explain the conflict between those messages and Alicia's messages about meeting up with her friend Darius.
Finally, after planting the false lead, Jermaine had driven home, taking a brief detour to dispose of the body.
Jermaine's phone pinged off an area where they found the body parts.
He'd also remodeled the bathroom in his rental house to erase all the forensic evidence.
The only coherent theory that reconciled all of the evidence was that Jermaine Richards did it. And in fact, that's the essence of a circumstantial case.
But will it be enough to secure a conviction?
The defense tried to raise a reasonable doubt based on the fact that we didn't have a complete body and we didn't have a primary crime scene.
When the jury retires, deliberation drags on for 8.5 days.
They were unable to come to a decision.
That first trial ended in a hung jury.
I thought to myself, how? They heard his inconsistencies. What part did they miss?
Justice did not serve us at all. That monster not only took my child's life and cut it short, but he dismembered her. The judicial system is horrible when it comes to Black and brown women seeking justice. She would not be another young Black woman that people forgot about. And I meant that then, and I mean it now.
But will the family ever see justice for Alicia?
The second trial ended in a hung jury.
It was hard for her mother to cope with that.
Even worse, on the eve of Jermaine's third trial for the murder of Alicia, the family experiences another heartbreaking tragedy.
August 17th, 2017. My oldest daughter, Shaquanika Brody, and my oldest granddaughter, Myjaya Richardson, were murdered. Myjaya was brutally tortured by my daughter's live-in boyfriend of 4 years, who was not the father of my grandchildren.
Despite her grief, Alicia's mother never abandons her quest for justice.
To have this happen twice, 2 daughters and a granddaughter, and to be able to get up in the morning and to face life with this tremendous weight on her shoulder. She is an anomaly and an incredible, courageous person.
I don't call myself a victim. I call myself a victor because I'm overcoming. My family, we're all victors because we're overcoming.
But will they be victorious when Jermaine stands trial a third time?
First 2 times, we ran the same play. We felt as though we had to account for all the evidence. For the third trial, we changed focus. We made it a story of domestic violence.
They brought in an educator on domestic violence so that the jury was aware of the signs.
The most dangerous time for someone in an unhealthy relationship is the breakup of that relationship.
Came here to break up with you.
Jermaine Richards could not deal with the fact that Alicia Wiley wasn't interested in him anymore. And that was the motive for taking her life.
For the perpetrator, if you can't be with me, then I don't want you with anyone else.
Ultimately, it's a winning strategy.
Third trial got us the conviction.
The judge imposed the maximum sentence of 60 years.
I just have to say thank you to prosecutors. They did a phenomenal job.
She was a hardworking young woman with a taste for adventure.
She just wanted to move and explore a new city.
She was a pretty cool, down-to-earth person.
In her new home, sparks flew.
She had met the perfect guy for her. We're all pushing for them to be married.
Are you okay?
But her promising romance ended in tragedy.
There was blood around her.
She had multiple gunshot wounds.
I just couldn't believe it.
Had her wild past caught up with her?
They had been shot at.
There were rumors about drug dealing.
Did they do anything illegal that you?
Was she murdered by a jealous rival?
He had been secretly cheating on her.
Or was her killer driven by something even more sinister?
He said, I want you to kill him.
It's a series of escalated incidents.
Was she pretty violent with you?
Yes, she was.
We don't know her whole story.
And I know if I say no, he gonna shoot me.
You don't go from being in love to where they ended up.
June 4th, 2007. It's before sunrise on Monday morning in Nashville, Tennessee, as residents get ready to head back to work after a busy weekend in Music City.
Nashville to me is a city that's on the rise. A lot of people are coming here.
For a pretty booming city, it's just growing in leaps and bounds.
Although the major interstates are bustling, one stretch of highway on the outskirts of town feels more rural.
In the area of Briley Parkway and Ashland City Highway, there's nothing there for anybody to see.
But one commuter will soon make an alarming discovery along this country highway.
He notices something on the side of the road, so he pulls over.
He saw a woman laying face down. He thought maybe she had had too much to drink.
Hey! He got out, he approached, he called out, "Are you okay?"
The woman doesn't respond, and when he gets closer, he sees what looks like blood in her hair.
She's face down, and there's blood pooled around her. It had a total appearance of some type of foul play.
The witness was pretty worried at this point, so he called 911.
Hello?
When officers arrive, it doesn't take them long to confirm that the woman is dead.
Did you see anybody else around?
No, I didn't see anybody else. They went ahead and called the North Precinct detectives for us to come out.
Detectives bring an investigator from the medical examiner's office with them to confirm how the victim died.
The medical examiner's office investigator found a gunshot wound to the left chest and a gunshot wound to the left side of the back of the head.
Detectives' next step is to try to determine who the victim might be.
They were unable to locate any obvious clues that would identify the woman.
We had a female that had kind of a light to medium skin tone, appeared to possibly be Hispanic.
There was no purse or wallet, no cell phone with the body, nothing that would give police her name.
We get some fingerprints, please?
However, when investigators take the woman's fingerprints and run them at the scene, it doesn't take them long to get a hit.
The fingerprints pulled up records for 24-year-old S30.E17.
The question now is, how did this young woman end up dead by the side of the highway?
This was such a puzzling, gruesome crime.
Originally from Puerto Rico, Zuri Villanueva moved with her family to the Nashville area when she was a teenager.
Her parents moved their family to the United States in search of a better life.
She was part of a really big family. She had 4 siblings. They were all a really tight-knit family.
Zuri was known for her kind heart and for always putting her family first.
Zuri was a sweet girl, someone who would always have your back.
She was very well loved. Family really counted on her, her bright smile, her warm hugs. She was a bright light in this family.
As she reached her mid-20s, Zuri started to long for something more than a city the size of Nashville could offer her.
She was very ambitious and wanted to explore a bigger city, so she went to Atlanta because it had more opportunities.
There was another reason for the move, too.
Zuri dated a guy named Dwayne Campbell for a couple of years, but they had a really bad breakup.
After breaking up with Dwayne, Zuri felt she was ready for a fresh start and to meet some new people, and she thought a new city was just the thing.
In Atlanta, Zuri quickly established roots.
Zuri started bartending at a popular bar down in Atlanta. The money was good, and it was fun, too.
Eventually, her new job paid off in another way that she didn't expect.
Hey,
With this new life, she found a new love interest.
what can I get for you?
I'll take a beer.
Okay, coming right up.
His name was William Durrell Smith.
There was a pretty instantaneous attraction between the two of them when they met.
You looking real nice tonight.
That's really sweet. Thank you.
Like Zuri, 25-year-old William was also from Tennessee.
He was a long haul driver with a trucking company based in Nashville.
In trucks. Wow.
He drove through Atlanta. One of his routes was through there.
Mind if I get your number?
William became a regular at the bar whenever he was in Atlanta, and soon the two began seeing each other outside the bar as well.
They got close, and he started urging her to move back to Nashville with him.
Eventually, Zuri Sadeh agreed to accompany William back to Middle Tennessee.
She thought she'd found the perfect guy for her. They moved in right away together.
We brung her back. They had an apartment, a real expensive apartment in Goodlettsville.
And before long, William and Zuri Sadeh started thinking about buying a home of their own.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Glad to be here.
Luckily for the couple, William's cousin, Nikita Kirby, was a realtor.
They was looking for a house here in Middle Tennessee. The price range was from $500,000 to $1 million.
On a truck driver salary?
I asked about, how y'all gonna finance this?
Zuri Sadeh assured Nikita that money wasn't a problem.
She said, I have an annuity. So I went to my broker and, got all their information. It was verified. The money was there. She had over $1 million.
I'll talk to my agent and see what they can do for you.
The home would be the perfect place for the young couple to start a family together.
They wanted privacy, and the house they chose was set back from the road on a 20-acre plot.
Unfortunately, the purchase for that particular home didn't go through. But Zuri Sadeh and William kept their heads up and continued exploring the real estate market.
They were disappointed by the setback, but were determined to find another dream home.
But now, it looks like the couple's dream of owning a home will never be realized.
Are you okay?
On the morning of June 4th, 2007, Zuri Sadeh's body was found on the side of a rural Nashville highway.
Oh, no.
Was she the victim of a carjacking?
911?
Maybe she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
This wasn't something that you normally saw in this area of Nashville. The police needed answers before someone else got hurt.
24-year-old Zuri Sadeh Villanueva felt like she'd found true love with long-haul trucker William Durrell Smith.
I thought she was pretty good for him. I really did like her personality.
They moved in together really quickly and right away started planning their future together.
I love it. I think it's absolutely beautiful.
They were even planning on buying a house together, even though they hadn't found the right one yet.
But now the couple's plans have come to a sudden end after Zuri Sadeh's body was found dumped on the side of a Nashville highway.
So the caller said that he was on his way to work, and he notices something on the side of the road. He pulls over, and he sees a woman who's unresponsive.
Can you get somebody down here right now?
When investigators arrived, they determined that Zuri Sadeh was shot in the chest and once in the head.
She might not have died from the gunshot wound to the torso had she had received medical attention immediately.
But the second shot behind her ear was fatal.
The gunshot to the head would have killed her almost instantly.
After identifying Zuri Sadeh and determining how she was shot, detectives began combing the scene for evidence.
Detective, look at this.
Police found 2 9mm shell casings on the ground near the body.
9mm?
Based on the fact that the shell casings are found on the street, detectives must consider the possibility that Zuri Sadeh may have been killed elsewhere.
I felt that it either occurred in a vehicle and they were drug out and dumped, or it happened there. Shell casings can stay in the vehicle, or when you're pulling somebody out, they may get pulled out too. We've had that happen in cases before.
However, it's soon evident the altercation likely did take place right there along the highway.
They found signs of a struggle.
Right by her, there was an area that there may have been a scuffle.
And there's one more tantalizing clue nearby.
They do find a receipt from Walmart from the previous night.
Detectives aren't sure whether Zuri dropped the receipt or her killer did.
It seems unlikely that detectives will be able to find any witnesses who can point them in the direction of a suspect either.
We're looking up and down the street. It's kind of a rural area there. There's really nothing there.
As the sun comes up over Nashville, detectives head back to the station to contact the store where the receipt came from.
I'm calling to see about getting some surveillance footage.
Without any solid leads, detectives basically have to use the receipt to start their investigation.
Police officers went to the Walmart where the receipt originated and asked for surveillance camera footage.
In the surveillance footage, detectives spot a woman that looks like Zuri Sadeh.
That looks like her. Nobody with her, though.
She had a key copied and left the store around 6:30. This would be about 12 hours before she was found dead.
So based on the surveillance footage, she was alone the entire time, so there's really no person of interest for them to look for.
Roller, come check this out.
Until detectives do a quick background check on their victim.
Turns out that Zuri had made several domestic violence reports in the past against a guy named Dwayne Campbell.
Dwayne was an ex-boyfriend of Zuri Sadeh's.
It's clear from the reports that Zuri Sadeh's relationship with Dwayne was highly volatile.
It was constant fighting and constant turmoil.
Is it possible that their breakup had pushed Dwayne over the edge?
He had every reason to want to harm Zuri Sadeh.
Let's go.
Detectives knew that they needed to speak with Dwayne Campbell immediately.
And soon, they'll get their chance.
How long did y'all's relationship last? About a year and a half. And during that year and a half, it was pretty rocky, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a roller coaster ride.
Police in Nashville, Tennessee have just learned that murder victim Zuri Sadeh Villanueva had a violent relationship with a former boyfriend named Dwayne Campbell.
There were some domestic reports. There was a history of domestic violence.
Come check this out.
It's more than enough to arouse investigators' suspicion.
That's interesting.
That boyfriend was the first person that we probably initially really beeline for to try to find and see what was going on with him.
When investigators bring Dwayne in for an interview, he claims he had nothing to do with Zuri Sadeh's murder.
You know when the last time you actually saw her was?
The last time that I remember seeing her is when we first were breaking up years ago.
He immediately told detectives that he hadn't seen Zuri since they'd broken up several years prior to her moving to Atlanta.
How long did y'all's relationship last?
About a year and a half.
And during that year and a half, it was pretty rocky, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a roller coaster ride.
To their surprise, Dwayne tells detectives that when it came to abuse, Zuri Sadeh could dish it out as well as she could take it.
Was she pretty violent with you?
Yes, she was. She got mad, and that's when she hit me.
Dwayne also says he wasn't even in the Briley Parkway area during the time of his ex's murder.
According to Dwayne, he was home alone the night of the murder, so it couldn't have been him.
This sort of alibi is going to be virtually impossible for detectives to verify.
Detectives are skeptical of Dwayne's account and wonder if he could have waited until now to exact his revenge on Zuri.
But without any concrete evidence against him, detectives are forced to let Dwayne go for now.
They just didn't have what they needed to hold Dwayne at the time, so they had to do a lot more digging.
Then detectives get a call from Zuri Sadeh's family, who has been reeling from the news of her death.
Detective Rowland.
They said they had some information that could aid in the investigation.
Oh, really?
They wanted to speak to the detectives immediately.
Detectives rush over to the Villanueva home.
But the family's devastated. Zuri Sadeh lived a quiet, unassuming life. It's really unclear why anyone would want her dead.
They were in shock. I'm sure that they were emotional.
There were some tears, but they were also angry and they wanted to help.
Zuri Sadeh's family says she had recently begun dating someone new she'd met in Atlanta.
I remember his name being Willie.
This was the first time that detectives were hearing William Smith's name.
According to Zuri Sadeh's family, things between the couple seemed good at first. But after they moved back to Nashville, the relationship started taking a downward turn.
Okay, was there any incidents that you can recall where they had blow-ups?
Only argument, verbal argument, that she needed to cry and talk to someone, she would talk to me.
During this time, him and her trying to stay together, but they're fighting.
Do you know what they were arguing about?
They had told her that she didn't feel comfortable in the relationship. There might have been some infidelity.
The truth is that it could have been about something else, but she wouldn't give me details.
According to the family, Zuri Sadeh really wanted to make things work with William, and the pair even started looking for a home of their own.
The family said that when the couple finally made an offer on their dream home, things began to look up.
But there was a problem when it came time to finalize the contract.
The couple's plan to purchase their dream home had just fallen through.
They lost the bid that they had put on the house.
The disappointment was hard for either of them to accept.
The family reported that losing the house caused a lot of strain for their relationship.
The family did speak of domestic violence.
He was locking her out of a house, leaving her at parks in the middle of the night.
But the strain in the couple's relationship wasn't the only thing that worried Zuri Sadeh's family.
Zuri Sadeh's family was afraid that she had gotten connected with some dangerous people.
Did they do anything illegal that you were aware of?
The family did tell me that she was kind of a self-proclaimed drug dealer.
Tell me what.
I overheard conversations, trafficking. I'm not familiar with the lingo. I think it was marijuana.
Detectives were wondering if Zuri Sadeh and William got into some sort of drug beef that led to her death.
Back at the station, detectives began trying to contact William.
If anybody could provide more information about the drug business that Zuri Sadeh had been involved in, it was William, because allegedly he'd been involved too.
Detectives also had to wonder about William himself. Could he have been the one to kill Zuri Sadeh? After all, it sounded like their relationship had become exceedingly rocky in recent months.
Unfortunately, William isn't an easy guy to get a hold of. He's not responding to any of their calls or messages.
The next morning, detectives are still trying to track down William Smith when they get an unexpected visitor.
William's cousin, Nikita Kirby, comes forward.
Nikita tells detectives that she may have some information in the search for Zuri Sadeh's killer.
Someone shot at them while they were eating. Their car had been shot at. Somebody was trying to kill him.
It was beginning to look like someone was out to get both Zuri Sadeh and William.
Police investigating the murder of 24-year-old Zuri Sadeh Villanueva have just learned some shocking new information.
Nikita Kirby, the cousin of Zuri's boyfriend, William, claimed that the couple had been the target of gunfire just weeks earlier.
They had taken Zuri's car one night to go out to dinner.
As they were parking, getting out of the car, another car pulled up and started shooting.
Zuri Sadeh and William ducked out of the line of fire and stayed hidden until the vehicle left.
I have no idea who shot at him. He just told me they were shot at.
Nikita says that the couple never filed a police report for fear of retribution. And when she heard about Zuri Sadeh's murder, she immediately thought it could have something to do with this earlier incident.
Nikita repeatedly tried calling William, but she could never reach him. He wasn't answering anybody's calls.
I initially thought when we couldn't find him that he was dead too.
Why do you think that?
Because of what happened before with the shooting. I'm thinking if she's dead, somebody's looking to kill him.
But when William showed up at her house shortly thereafter, Nikita tells police she was both surprised and relieved.
What are you doing here? He popped up. No car, no nothing. He was just in my backyard. He appeared to be shaken up and afraid.
Do you know the police are looking for you? Do you know she's dead?
Yeah, I know.
I thought he knew somebody had killed her and they was looking for him.
Out of fear for her own safety, Nikita didn't invite her cousin inside.
Can I come in? No, William, I'm sorry. You can't.
He's my cousin. I love him, but something that night just kind of made me fearful. And I was just like, look, you can go home or go to your daddy's or contact whoever it is you need to contact.
Nikita says she hasn't seen him since and really has no idea where he is now.
Thanks for coming in.
Nice. Thank you, guys.
After speaking with Nikita, detectives are more eager than ever to track down William. But then they receive a phone call with another promising new lead.
A woman calls who says she has some information that could help them.
The woman says she's a friend of Zurisadeh's.
Zurisadeh's friend confirms the family's claim that Zurisadeh's relationship with William had been plagued with infidelity.
He hadn't been entirely faithful.
He didn't just cheat on her once. He had been secretly seeing a woman for the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
According to the caller, that woman's name is Janet Clausen.
Janet was starting to cause some problems in Zuri and William's relationship.
She was growing increasingly possessive. She would have fits of jealousy.
The caller says that she doesn't believe Zurisadeh and Janet ever really met, but that they got into it on the phone.
This leaves detectives wondering, could this have something to do with Zurisadeh's murder?
Maybe the fact that William and Zurisadeh had been house hunting convinced Janet that she was losing to her rival, and Zurisadeh had to be taken out of the picture.
At this point, detectives are wondering if Janet could have been the one who shot at William and Zurisadeh just weeks earlier in some sort of a jealous rage.
Thank you.
Fortunately, detectives are able to quickly contact Janet, and she agrees to come in for an interview.
Janet seems shocked that she was a suspect in Zurisadeh's murder.
She says she wants to clear her name and help police in any way that she can.
She does admit to having a romantic relationship with William Smith that had been going on for quite some time.
When did you first meet Mr. Smith?
Well, I met William probably when I was like 16.
We're talking about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
She tells investigators that during that time, William always had other girlfriends.
Janet knew about Zurisadeh. She knew that William was a player, but that didn't bother her.
The way he explained it to me, it was that he was messing around. So I said, okay, I don't think it's too much serious,
According to Janet, it was Zurisadeh who was jealous.
She did not like the idea of having to share him with another woman.
He starts calling my phone. She was just like, I'm his gal. He gonna always be my man.
Zuri had found out, and she was very upset. The situation became increasingly volatile. She would call at all hours and blow up her phone, telling her to stay away from her man.
I was just like, whatever. I never did say nothing. I was just like, whatever.
But Janet thinks that William took Zurisadeh's harassment more seriously.
She says she was worried about something that happened when she was hanging out with William the previous Friday, 3 days before Zurisadeh's body was found.
While they were together, William had put a gun in her lap.
He said that Zurisadeh had to go.
And he said, I want you to kill her.
What?
Detectives in Nashville, Tennessee, investigating the murder of Zurisadeh Villanueva, have learned that her boyfriend, William Durrell Smith, was involved with another woman, 21-year-old Janet Clausen. And now, Janet has told them that William urged her to kill Zurisadeh only a few days before she was found dead.
She says he had given her a gun and told her to use it to get rid of her rival.
He would say, I only want to be with you.
He said, I want you to kill her.
Janet tells detectives she was horrified at William's bizarre request.
Look, it's the only way to get her to leave us alone so we can be together.
I'm not gonna do that.
Janet says when she refused, He passed it off as a joke.
I'm just messing.
He's like, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just going to see what you're going to do. I said, William, don't play with me like this.
However, Janet claims William's strange behavior only escalated from there.
Janet had just started to relax when he pulled out the gun. This time, he didn't put it in her lap.
Instead, he pointed the gun at her head.
You better not cry.
All of a sudden, I know I turn my head and the gun up to my head like this.
If you cry, we'll kill you. Are you going to be with me? Are you going to stand by my side?
Like, I know if I say, nah, he going to shoot me. So I'm like, baby, I'll be with you. You know, I ain't going to say nothing.
I think he was really losing his mind.
I got your back whenever you need.
Once I told him I was going to be with him and stay with him, he laid the gun down.
And a few days later, when she found out about her being found dead, her mind immediately went to William.
When detectives asked Janet where they could find William, she said that they should go talk to his father.
She had a reason to believe that William had been staying with him.
The next morning, detectives pay a visit to the home of William's father. When they ask him if he knows where his son is, they get a surprising answer.
Do you know where he is?
Yeah. He's taking a shower upstairs. Come on in.
Lo and behold, William Darrell Smith was upstairs. And the father had allowed us in, and we talked to him. It's like, we really want to talk to him.
While detectives wait for William to come down, his father agrees to answer a few questions for them.
William Darrell Smith's father, he's a good and decent man. He talked to us.
Detectives start by asking William's father about his son's whereabouts in the hours surrounding Zuri Sadeh's murder. And that's when he drops a bombshell.
Shortly after Zurisadeh's body was found, William asked his father if he could accompany him on a day trip to Chicago.
I was going to Chicago to see my daughter. He wanted to go with me.
But curiously, William's father says his son drove separately.
William drove himself in a different car than the one that his father drove up in.
So both of y'all, you drove one car and he drove the other.
Yeah.
Even more strange, they left William's car in Chicago with a family member and rode back together.
And on the way back, William's father could tell his son was struggling.
They came back together, and he could tell something was wrong.
He told me to sleep like, you want to cry.
When Mr. Smith later learned that Zuri Sadeh was dead, he understood why his son was acting strange.
From his viewpoint, of course, that must have been why his son was so upset.
It's then that detectives explain to William's father that they have reason to believe that his son may be Zuri Sadeh's killer.
What?
William's father was shocked. All this time, he thought that William was distraught, but never did he think he caused it.
Go ahead, then.
As taken aback as he was, he knew what detectives needed to do.
Detectives head upstairs and find William in a bedroom.
Hey, William.
He clearly knew this was coming and didn't fight it.
All right, man.
He agreed to accompany them back to the station for questioning.
As detectives take William into custody, they make an important observation.
We did find a 9mm pistol.
Detectives collect the gun to compare it with shell casings found by Zurisadeh's body.
Meanwhile, at the North Precinct headquarters, William agrees to talk to police. At first, he denies having anything to do with Zuri Sadeh's death.
So what do you think happened?
I gotta do something with some drugs. That's all I'm being able to think of.
His stories turned from she was a big-time drug dealer, and then he thinks that the cartel killed her, and that's why he didn't come talk to us, because he was scared.
That's the one headed out for.
Detectives don't buy it, so they turn up the pressure.
We didn't really bring you down here to ask you whether or not you shot her. Because we have
all the information that we need. We know something happened between y'all that night. We kept picking it apart until he finally admitted that he was with her that night.
He admits that he was responsible for Zarisa Day's death, but he insists it was self-defense.
I think he, like a lot of suspects, they give a statement that puts bad light on the victim and better light on themselves. He was advised at that point he was no longer free to leave.
Stand up, because you're under arrest.
Detectives arrest William and charge him with the murder of Zarisa Day Villanueva.
He was taken to Davidson County Jail and booked in for a criminal homicide charge, and we didn't have any more conversation with him after that.
That doesn't mean William won't talk.
He called his cousin Nikita Kirby from jail, maybe to unburden himself about what happened.
I never thought in my wildest dreams that he killed this girl. I just couldn't believe that part.
She got a shocking confession from him.
I went down that night. I went down.
In Nashville, Tennessee, homicide detectives working Zarisa Day Villanueva's murder case are listening to jail calls recorded between her boyfriend, William Durrell Smith, and his cousin, Nikita Kirby.
William wasn't very forthcoming with the detectives regarding the circumstances surrounding Zuri's murder, but he was forthcoming with Nikita.
In the calls, William tells Nikita that he and Zarisa Day got in a blowout fight over his infidelity on the night of June 3rd, 2007.
It got so heated that they had to pull over on the side of the road.
Part of the way through the conversation, he made the admission that she pulled the gun out. He said it. He got the gun away from her.
I went down that night.
Y'all got to fighting, and you took the gun, shot it.
But according to William, that wasn't the end of it.
She reached up and grabbed him.
He says he felt like he had no choice but to continue to defend himself, so he fired a second time.
And she came back at you and you shot in the head.
I went down.
When she asked why he hadn't called the police, he stated he panicked.
The next day, he decides to drive up to Chicago with his dad to leave the car there, just in case the police decided to take it for evidence.
Despite his admission, William tells Nikita he's confident that the truth will set him free.
He thinking he's coming home. I mean, he was in real good spirits, but I also knew it was delusion.
I find it hard for you to be able to tell me that she moved and I shot her again because I thought she was going to grab me.
Hoping to build an airtight case, investigators work with Chicago police to recover the car that William had left at a family member's house and have it brought back to Nashville.
A forensic examination of the car found one bullet hole in the rear door and 5 different blood stains inside of the car.
The police send the blood samples to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and the result is a match.
The blood does belong to Zarisa Day Villanueva, but other forensic evidence poses a problem for the prosecution.
Forensic tests done on the bullets recovered from the victim's body show that they weren't fired from the handgun that was recovered from William's parents' house.
Unfortunately, it did not match the ballistics to the gun that we had, but there was talk of several guns belonging to William Smith.
When the evidence is assembled, the district attorney goes to William Smith with a plea offer.
The DA, the detective, his attorneys, everybody asked me to talk to him and talk him out of taking this to trial. Take this deal that they offered him 18 years, and he would have did about 9, maybe 10, but he'd have been out.
William rejects the deal proposed by the district attorney.
He honestly thought he was going to be exonerated.
In March of 2010, William Durrell Smith goes on trial for murder.
According to the prosecution, William Durrell Smith had gotten in over his head in a messy love triangle.
And he hadn't gotten what he wanted from Zuri Sadeh.
He may have been trying to use her to elevate his status in life.
He wasn't just looking for a girlfriend. He was looking for a sugar mama.
When their attempt to buy a house fell through, he blamed Zuri Sadeh for their failure.
I think that's where his anger came from.
In the weeks that followed, William punished Zuri Sadeh repeatedly.
Domestic violence is never a one-time incident. It's a series of escalated incidents.
It doesn't always start with physical abuse, but the controlling behavior, the name calling, the humiliation, that's domestic violence too.
And in the end, it turned deadly.
He first asked the other woman that he was seeing, Janet Clausen, to kill Zuri, but she refused to do it.
I'm not gonna do that.
That's when William made the decision to kill Zuri Sadeh himself.
He drives her out to a remote stretch of highway on the outskirts of Nashville.
You mean to tell me that's a lie of all the money you got?
How are you calling me a liar when you got that girl on the side?
Shut up!
Prosecutors believe William dragged a still-breathing Zuri Sadeh out of the car, then fired again.
The second shot to the head was fatal.
After that, he drove off and left her.
He throwed her out on the side of the road like she just was nothing.
When it's the defense's turn, they argue that the state has failed to prove its case against William and that their client had only been trying to defend himself against Zuri Sadeh. But William's attorney fails to exclude some of the state's most important testimony.
The defense tried to keep Janet Clausen off the witness stand, but the judge allowed it, and she indeed testified that William had asked her to kill Zuri Sadeh.
After the jury retires for deliberations, it doesn't take long for them to return with their verdict.
12 members of a jury didn't buy his story.
There was no way these gunshots was self-defense.
William Durrell Smith is found guilty of first-degree murder.
The judge sentences him life in prison.
He hasn't called in almost 9 years. We haven't seen him. We don't know how he's doing. We don't know anything about what's going on with him.
The Villanueva family is glad that justice has been done, but still struggles to understand why Zuri Sadeh was taken from them.
People look back to see if they missed signs or if there were things that were happening that they didn't know about because everyone's trying to make sense of this horrible tragedy.